B hopping. I'm going to use it to describe just the act of bouncing off the ground with your jump key. So we're just holding forward. I'm doing a running start, holding forward, and then jumping. Now, you should hold W while you do this, or hold the direction you're going in. That way you don't lose as much speed. As you can see, if I kind of just do it without that, occasionally you do a bad one and lose a lot of speed. So hold W while you're doing it. This W key, I'm going to call momentum key. So the W key in this case is your momentum key. If you're B hopping backwards, then now S is my momentum key. Or this way, A is my momentum key, or this way, D is my momentum key. Well, now we want to turn while we're B hopping. So we need to do air strafes. Air strafes allow you to change the direction of your momentum while you're in the air, and also gives you a little bit of acceleration. To do this, I'm going to hold a key, or hold a new key while still doing my B hop. I'm going to hold a new key, left or right, and I'm going to hold it in the direction that I want to go. So if I hold left and move my mouse to the left, my character will start going to the left. If I just hold left, nothing happens, but if I hold left and move my camera to the left, change my momentum, and I can turn. I can go back and forth between the two. For which direction to hold, imagine that you are traveling along a curve, and that curve is the direction that you want to travel in. You are always holding towards the inside of the curve. So if I'm holding forwards and I'm holding inside of the curve, that means I'm holding left. If I'm going backwards along that same line, I want to hold left to go inside that same curve, right? Inside the curve. The key you are holding to the side, I'm going to call this, so in this case, it would be A. That is going to be your turn key. So my current setup right now, I have W as my momentum key, and A is my turn key. I do this. Now S is my momentum key, and A is my turn key. And if I go sideways, now A is my momentum key, W is my turn key, and the other way around, A is my momentum key, and S is my turn key. Let's talk about how to change directions. There's two ways to do it. The first way is the slow transition. So in this case, I'm going to hold the momentum key while B hopping. So in this case, W is my momentum key. If I want to change my direction so that A is my new momentum key, I'm going to start holding A, not doing anything. And now I'm just going to slowly move my mouse so that A is now in front. What happened here was that I changed my momentum key, which is W, into my new momentum key, which is A. So now that's my momentum key. And my old momentum key, if I keep turning, kind of becomes my turn key now. So, bring over that again. I'm holding W as my momentum key. I start holding A to be the new momentum key that I want to do. And then I turn until my new momentum key is now my momentum key, and my W is now my turn key. Like that. The next way of changing directions is, I'm going to call it a 90-degree turn. So you may have done this when jump spotting things. Looks like this. The keys for this are I'm holding W to jump first, or I'm holding W to kind of get off the ground, get moving. Then I'm going to hold the direction I want to travel in. So I go from holding W to holding A. And then I want to tap the back key. Tap the key in the opposite direction. That's how you do it when you're jump spotting it. In our case, what's happening is that the changes from for bunny hopping. That means I'm holding my momentum key forward. I hold I want my new momentum key to be that A key, and now I'm going to press S to do that direction, that 90-degree direction change. Right, I press S, and now my character has changed directions. So A becomes my new momentum key, S becomes my new turn key, and I can continue forward like that. So now I can like this. So, going over. W momentum key, hold my new momentum key, press back, press the opposite direction of your momentum key, that'll change your momentum to be in line. This will lose you some speed as you do it, and you'll have to get it back. If I do the 90-degree turn directly, I'm going to get this sharp change in momentum. That's going to lose me a little bit of speed. If instead, I turn my camera a little bit in the direction, away from the direction I want to turn to, that'll make my angle wider, and so I won't lose as much speed as I do it. I'll be hopping, holding my W as momentum key, start holding A as my new momentum key that I want to be at, turn a little bit into it, and then press S to change directions. So momentum key, turn a little bit, press S, change directions. So this will be like a sharp change, right? And this will be the same thing. I'm just going to angle my camera a little bit to the right before I turn. Now I don't lose that much speed. For Neon, you can use it to do some going around corners like this. I came straight up to the corner, then did my 90-degree turn, transition directly into a left angle, something like that. There's other uses for it, but that's what I've heard about it. How does all this work? With air strafing, the important thing to note is the game takes your inputs as separate buttons. When you hold A and W, it's not like you're just holding a button, one button that's in a diagonal direction. It's that you're holding A and W together. And they both are individually have their own rules. If I'm holding W, I want you to think of it as giving me a semicircle in front of me of allowed movement areas. So anywhere in this front semicircle, if my momentum is in that direction, then I'll be fine. And I'll keep hopping, I won't lose speed, it'll all be okay. It's importantly, I'm not doing an air strafe here. I'm not gaining speed from air strafing. I'm only not losing speed because I'm B-hopping, and when I do the B-hop, I gain some speed back from that. If I were to start with momentum that's not in the semicircle, and then press W, so if I were coming backwards, then press W, I lose all that speed instantly. You want to avoid pressing buttons when your momentum is not in that semicircle. If I go to the edge of the semicircle, so if I start moving my momentum a little bit more to the edge, I go to the very edge of it, I eventually get into an air strafe. Once I hit the very edge, I get an air strafe. It's normal, nothing's happening, and then edge, start the air strafe. This is turning my momentum key into my turn key. When you push your momentum to the edge of that semicircle, the game will rotate your momentum and change it so that it stays within that semicircle. So right now I'm on the very edge. Momentum is straight to the left, on the very edge of that semicircle. Let's do the same thing holding A. So if I'm holding A, now sideways is my semicircle. I can do all this, nothing happens. I'm just B-hopping, I'm not air strafing. And if I push it too far to the edge, that turns it into a turn key, and now I'm air strafing. For two buttons, if I start to hold a separate button, that button's semicircle also effectively happens in the game. So, what does that look like? If I hold A and W, and I B-hop in that direction, or I'm just in that direction, my momentum is within both semicircles at the same time. If I were to rotate my camera, pushing momentum against one of the semicircles, so if I look left here, momentum gets pushed up against the A key, that turns the A key into my turn key. And the same in the direction, if I'm going diagonally, and then I start turning to the right, now it's pushing against my W's edge, and turns my W into a turn key. Okay, going over some terms for this. If I want to do backwards, for example, backwards to the right, now both my keys are momentum. If I push against one of the edges, so I push against the edge of the S key, that becomes my turn key. My S key is my turn key, and my D key is my momentum key. This effectively has created a quarter circle of possible movement area, where before just holding one key gives us a semicircle of allowed movement. Holding two keys gives me a quarter circle of that allowed movement. And you can think about it the same way. It all looks the same. When you move between buttons, what you're doing is changing in which semicircle is active. So if I start running like this, okay, W is my active semicircle. If I look a little bit to the right and then start holding A, nothing bad happens because my momentum was within both semicircles at the same time, so I don't lose any speed. But if I were to not do that, I'm running forward, and I look a little bit to the right, and now I hold A, my momentum won't be in the right direction, so I will lose speed, and I'll change directions a little bit. So the most important part when you're changing between directions without using the 90-degree method is that you are never pressing a button that your momentum is not already in. So, what that looks like is right now I'm holding W as my momentum key, hold A to make that my turn key. Momentum is now on straight forward on the edge of the A key semicircle, in the middle of the W key semicircle. If I let go of A and then start pressing D, I can push it to the edge of the D keys semicircle, the center of the W semicircle. So I'm never going between buttons like this. Some other terms you should know that I don't personally use, but other people use, are directional and rotational. Directional bunny hopping is when you are using W as your momentum key, so like this. Or if you are bunny hopping with your S key. So my character is going forward or backwards. We call that directional. While a rotational is if I'm using A as my momentum key with W and D as my turn keys, or if I'm using D as my momentum key. If you want to learn more about bunny hopping and especially neon movement, I will link to the Discord in the description. And thanks to Buggo for helping me out with the video. I will link to their YouTube channel as well. Alright, have a good time. See ya.